Right then, this is a quick walk around video for an absolutely stunning CR-V. This is a 2-litre black edition model, a first of this type actually. Car's covered just under 57,000 miles and is in absolutely lovely condition. Go around the car as I always do for you, starting with the front of the vehicle. And apologising, it's a lovely sunny day, but that's not great for videos, but I have to do them when I can. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no cracks or condensation there. Bonnet is very, very clean indeed. Obviously there's going to be some very light stone chips, but that is the sum total. Near side, beautifully smooth in the panels. I can't see any obvious indentations jumping out at me. Coming to basically the only really noticeable blemish on the car. Outside edge has pickled slightly on the near side front alloy, which is the one that takes all of the bashing. Could easily be rectified by a local chap or these paint people, and inexpensively, but I have to reflect the car's now, what's that, 8-9 years old. Near side rear alloy pretty much unmarked. Then come around the back of the car, apologise for the glare. Again, very, very clean. Around to the offside, the driver's side. Again, very, very smooth in the panel work. Definitely my favourite angle for them when they've got these kits on. The rear 3/4 angle looks absolutely lovely on the car. Offside rear alloy, again in beautiful condition. The remaining alloys, sorry, the remaining panel's really nice, and final alloy lovely. So externally, I mean, it is in absolutely lovely condition with just the one tiny mark on the alloys, on the one alloy there. Let's come into the back of the car now. Cavernous boots, and it's been kept absolutely beautifully, and that's not always the case with CR-Vs. They're normally heavily used family cars, but that's been treated rather nicely. Let's come into the back of the car now. Wide opening rear doors, absolutely enormous amounts of legroom, and ignore the fact that the centre of the seats look sort of pinky purpley. They're not, they're black. It's this weird video makes them look like that, so I do apologise, but it's been kept absolutely beautifully back here. To the front of the passenger side, again all very, very clean and tidy, and the same goes to the front seats here. They are not purple in the middle, so please do ignore that. Finally coming on the driver's side, again footwell area is lovely and clean, and the driver's seat again in stunning condition for its age. So inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. And again, it's in absolutely beautiful condition. And just come across to the main dash binnacle for you, and hopefully you can see in there 56,977 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre black edition. The car is registered CU14NBO, with a mileage of just 56,969 recorded. The reason we do these videos is actually very simple indeed. It's to ensure that if anyone's actually online looking at any of our cars advertised, they get to see them in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is simply because we've been to see so many cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs, only to get there and find out that there's a obvious fault that shows up when driving the car. So hence that's why we do it. The route, by the way, is also the same route we take our customers on for test drives. Hope is then it will be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So come to the car, again, very, very well looked after vehicle. It's immediately obvious, and it's also nice to get in one, and it's just a reminder of why these are such lovely cars and why they're so sought after. It's just such a lovely car to drive. Engine starts instantly, settles to smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. like all Honda 4-cylinder engines, which in my humble opinion are the best in the world. You know, it's just such a lovely engine to use day in, day out. It's sweet, it's docile, it's tractable, it pulls from low revs without fluster or flutter. But when you do put the revs on, it doesn't become harsh in any way. It's such a sweet unit to use. And being a Honda, of course, you know, it's got a reputation as being, you know, the most reliable engine in its class by a long way, and very long lasting as well. Helped by the fact it's cam chain, there's no cam belts on them, but a brilliant piece of engineering. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car is absolutely perfect, smooth and positive, bike point exactly where it's meant to be. And then you move on to the gearbox, which, typical of Honda, is absolutely brilliant. Quite often you get in cars like this, and manufacturers seem to think it's an opportunity just to give you whatever. You know, it's, you know, almost like a truck-like driving experience with some of them. This one starts with the positioning of the gear lever nice and high up. Your hand naturally falls to it. There's no kind of going down, so the natural plane of movement for the gear shift is more natural than would ordinarily be the case. But the gear change itself is superb. You know, it's short and throw. It's got a kind of a real kind of snappy action as you change gear. Feels far more sporting in terms of its actuation than you'd expect, as I said, of this type of car. So normally you don't get anything like as nice a gear change as this, and that's exactly as it would have been when it was new. It just feels without any wear, which is normal because these are incredibly tough gearboxes. Steering on the car, again, very nicely done. It's nicely weighted. It's not over light, which I really hate in modern cars with electric power steering. So you feel as you've got a bit of substance to the steering of the car. But what it is it's accurate, it's precise, it's just very pleasant to use. You know, these, and Honda make no pretense, you know, this isn't a sports car. It's not meant to be a sports car. But what it is very, very capable of doing what it's intended to do, which is ferrying yourself and family around. So when you go through corners like this one here, minimal turn of the wheel, goes through, the car corners very flat indeed. You get very little kind of rolling and motion with the chassis of the car. Again, you find with a lot of its competitors, they can be very kind of soft riding, but when you go through the corners, they lurch and lollop about. And of course, comfort is a subjective thing. You know, some people want a sort of pillowy ride, but unfortunately the payoff is that this strikes a beautiful balance. And Honda know this market intimately, with the, you know, the CR-V's being the best-selling SUV in the world for many, many years, and it's obvious. You know, they know exactly what the vast majority of their customers want, because they say the chassis is fantastic, the ride's really good, there are no clonks, rattles, or anything coming from underneath the vehicle. The car feels absolutely as solid as a rock in every single way. Let's get up to a little bit of speed and give the brakes a tap. I know they're good, I've already checked them, but just hold on to my phone a second. Actually, just behind me. That's very good brake pedal on the car. Bites really, really nicely. It's all in fine fettle there. Finally coming inside the car, yet to be cleaned, but in all honesty, it's literally just come to us. Virtually doesn't need it, it's that clean in here. They are beautifully put together cars. Build quality is astonishing in them. There's no squeaks, no rattles, no creaks, nothing at all, which is common for them. Again, they're beautifully put together, because they're, again, this is, you know, when I do these videos, I quite often sort of go off at a bit of a tangent, and it's because it is frustrating. You read some of the motoring press, and when cars are brand new, they assess their build quality, which is a fairly ludicrous thing to do in some ways, because all modern cars should be reasonably well put together, and at least initially seem solid. Build quality is actually how that translates into the real world of ownership and durability over the years, and this is where the CR-Vs again are top of the class, absolutely superb. So those that say squidgy plastics and thunky sounding doors make for build quality, sorry, but this is what it is. Honda, nice texturing, some harder plastics which you naturally can expect, but it's designed for family use. So if you spill things, give it a knock, they're incredibly durable in that sense. But it's also really nicely laid out in here. First and foremost, you've got brilliant visibility in the car. You feel very, very confident on the road. You've got these massive wing mirrors helping with your sort of lane changes, that kind of thing. I can actually see the bonnet of the car, which is a minor miracle. Obviously, you're helped with front and rear parking sensors, rear camera. There's all sorts of things to help you out, but it is an easy car to place on the road. Dash design is simplicity itself. You've got a perfectly functioning sat-nav system, dual zone climate control system, which gives you different temperatures side to side if you so wish. That pumps out lovely cold air, by the way. We checked that earlier in a nice warm workshop. All of the switchgear, as is always the case with Honda, has that beautiful quality of actuation to it. Really nicely damped, just feels beautifully engineered as it is. Dash binnacle in front, again, just very neatly presented, minimalist by modern overcomplicated standards, and all the better for it. And then you've got this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, which, as with the rest of the interior, is just in beautiful condition. Really, really is. It's a fabulous car, this one, and it said it genuinely is in lovely condition. It is, by the way, sorry, I was going to end it there. It is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit there's no buttons to press on CR-Vs because it does it all for you. The way it works is dead simple. It runs in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, pretty much the whole time, because that's the most efficient way to pull a car along. Only if it needs to go into four-wheel drive will it do so. So basically what happens is, if you're pulling away on a bit of mud, snow, ice, whatever happens to be, and the front wheel starts to lose grip, it seamlessly and instantly brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and then disengages it as soon as it no longer requires it. And that's genius. And I've used it. We've got a caravan, we tow, and we've gone through some pretty muddy places and never come close to getting stuck with it. It really is a very clever system. The advantages are also obvious. You're going to get through less fuel, you're going to get through your tyres far less quickly, and you put far less mechanical stress to the vehicle, so that's what gives it its inherent reliability as well. I can't fault this car in any way. It drives absolutely beautifully.